let me see. So yeah, making sure, if you can, that you've had your drink of water, that you're nice and comfortable. Maybe you've got some breeze flowing through the environment that you're sitting in. And we're going to do a little breathing activity to get us going this evening. And sorry, my glasses are a bit reflecting on the light, aren't they? But hey, haven't put the contacts in today. So what I'd like you to do is take your fingertips to the sides of your body. And then on a big inhale, take the hands all of the way up. And then as the hands come up and above your head, bend the elbows and turn the palms downwards. And as the palms go down, you're going to bring the thumbs and the index fingers together, and you're bringing the thumb towards your tummy button, or thumbs, I should say. So the thumbs are coming towards your tummy button. Now, in yoga circles, we call this yoni mudra because it's a womb-like shape. Yoni is the Sanskrit for womb. In sort of Taoist practices, this is the lower dantian, and we're bringing energy or qi into this area. So that's what we're working on here. So what I'd like you to do is do the same thing. You're going to take your arms out wide to the sides. When the hands get up to about shoulder height, you can turn the palms up, bend the elbows, bring the hands sort of together above your head, palms down. And then this is you drawing qi from the earth, from the environment, and you're bringing it to your lower dantian. And you're going to do this a couple more times. You're breathing in, hands going up. Sorry, I haven't done it properly, have I? I didn't done it the way I told you. I get sort of wobbles between the yoga style and the Taoist style, which are totally different. Of course they are. And then we'll do it one more time. So the Taoist style keeps the hands down until about here and then turns them up and just lets the elbows bend. And obviously saying there's only one way of doing things is not right at all, because I'm sure that in all these different traditions, there's many ways of doing the same thing. So just leaving the hands. I know that your hands are probably warm. However, feel the warmth of your palms and imagine a beautiful golden light filling your entire lower abdomen. Breathe into where your hands are situated. And take one more breath. And then we're going to slide the hands up to the center of the chest, to the heart. So I've kind of got my thumbs resting on the sternum and the fingers are still pointing down. This is the middle dantian. And I would like you to maybe close your eyes and bring a little smile on the corners of your mouth and absorb the warming energy from your hands and the joy of being alive and the joy of being around nature. I know we're not outside necessarily, but we can imagine ourselves there. Now, as you inhale, open the hands out to the sides, keeping the palms down. The arms rise up to about shoulder height. The palms flip. You bring the hands above the head and you close the Yoni Mudra shape to your hands and place them back over your heart again. And we're going to do that a couple more times. So you're inhaling and exhaling. And then one more time, inhaling and exhaling. And leave the hands over the center of the chest or the heart center. Try to relax your shoulders. Fill your body up with happy glows. The sun is always restoring our sense of joy, our vitality. So when we kind of top up our levels, our serotonin levels, and all the great vitamin D that's being created in our bones, it keeps our bones strong during the winter. Okay. And then we're going to move your triangle, your yoni mudra, towards your forehead. But this time your thumbs go towards your third eye and your fingers point up. Lovely. Okay, just hold this here. Close the eyes if you like. And then from this position, we're going to go straight up in the air. Inhale the hands all of the way up. Now take them round and down. Bring the thumb and the index finger together at the bottom where the lower dantian is. Rise it up through the middle and then flip the palms so the thumbs come up, so you're like making yourself a crown. Inhaling, going up. Opening the arms all of the way out wide to the side, so you're gathering chi from all around. Bring the shape together, and then as you exhale, travel it all the way up and flip your palms. One more time. Inhale, push it up. Take it all the way around. Imagine your hands are like scoops. And then bring it towards the center and exhale, raise the hands up. And find that position with the thumbs on the third eye for a moment. Close down the eyes. Take one more breath. And then slowly release your hands into your lap. Relax your shoulders. Soften your jaw. And just from these simple movements, perhaps there's a little bit more vitality and energy around your shoulders, your upper body. Or maybe just it gives you that little bit of separation from the day where you've focused on your breath for a while and you've got your mindset into your yin frame of mind for tonight. Okay, so can you take one more breath here? Lovely. Now slowly open the eyes when you're ready and gently come out of your seated position. And this is where you're going to set up your props for tonight's practice. So I'd like you to take your 2 bricks or blocks or whatever you want to call it, and you're making a platform like that to rest your bolster on so that there's a space underneath. So therefore, it doesn't matter what these are. It could be a couple of books. It could be anything, bag of flour or something like that. So it really doesn't matter what you have available. Just use what you've got. And then one leg is going to go underneath it, okay? And you can lift, if it's not high enough, you can make it higher up. You can move this, lift it, shuffle one leg straight through the gap. And then the other leg is going to be bent and out to the side. Now, the idea of the props being set up like this is that they therefore are not resting directly onto your leg. But if you like the sensation of the block of the bolster being heavy on your leg, then please take it. Also, if you like the sensation of having the bolster closer in to hug it, that's okay too. So feel free to play. This is just a suggestion. And I am going to just shuffle it around just a little bit. And then you're folding forwards. You don't have to bring your head all the way down to the bolster. You could just rest your elbows and your chin in your hands. And we'll pause here and breathe. And we're just looking for a feeling of length in a couple of places. First place is across the lower back, across the back of your hips. So we want to feel just a mild sense of stretch there. And the second place might be down the back of the straight leg. So have a little feel of what's going along there. And you're going to feel different sensations in different intensities. So these are, whilst I'm just highlighting these, as you know, some of you will feel nothing there at all because you might be very stretchy and down the back of your legs. And so this might not be giving you a big, strong stretch at all. And you might be feeling it more into the back of your body, which is another of the places I would mention, because you're rounding the back of your spine. And this gives you the opportunity to bring the chin towards the chest and to let the back of the neck lengthen if you want. But if this feels too strong, your head feels too heavy, your neck is feeling a bit delicate tonight, then do prop your chin on your hands or on your forearms. And just notice this is a fairly familiar pose. Janushirasana in our standard yoga practice, or half butterfly in yin. And you might be feeling it in a completely different place in your body tonight than where you might usually feel it. You might need to feel it in a certain part of your body tonight. Perhaps you've been doing a lot of gardening where you've bent over frequently, and maybe this just offers you that little bit of stretch into those parts of the body that have been doing the folding. Okay, so you're going to take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And then slowly picking yourself up. And we'll stay with this leg position, unless, of course, the bent knee has got a little bit, tired, fed up of being in that bent position. Just want to stretch it out for a moment, but just come into a neutral sort of seated place for a second. Because our next pose follows on from this shape, so that's why we're going to stay here. However, it gives you just a chance to neutralize the spine, so be comfortable in the way that you're sitting. And then I want you to turn a little bit towards the bent knee. And you might shuffle the hips and the knee around a little bit, so you're more facing the side of your mat rather than facing your straight leg. And again, I've got the bolster sort of closer to my knee so that I can side bend towards it. But if you want it tucked up closer in towards the side of your waist to wrap over the top of, to wrap your upper body around, then you're very welcome to do that. So the blocks and the brick, they're just there as suggestions, okay? However, face the bent knee as much as you can and take this movement into the side body. Lean towards the bolster, lean towards the straight leg. Let your elbow rest, let your head rest on your hand, or you could lengthen your arm down towards your ankle. You could let your head hang, rest your head on your shoulder if you have that flexibility in your neck. It really doesn't matter, apart from being comfortable and able to stay here for the next little bit of time. So time has gone on. The other arm can just loosely, I've got it resting onto my hip, but you could rest it around the back just to keep the front body open. It could come forwards with you, rest onto your bolster again, just be comfortable. And as long as you're tilting your spine to one side, then you're doing the pose and you're targeting the right areas. Just opening up this length of the side body. And you might be feeling this in the bent knee, hip, a little bit by now. You've been here for a little while. Just close down the eyes. Focus on the breath. A quiet, reassuring lullaby of the breath. Okay, so we're going to stay here for maybe 3 or 4 more breaths. Just noticing how the side of your body has opened or softened, become more willing to stay here and to experience these gentle stretches. Okay, so slowly and gently lifting yourself up, and then quite a nice transition coming up. So what we're going to do is take a little rest with a lie down. You're going to leave, lost my brick, leaving your bolster up on its props, and you're lying down. You could either let your legs rest onto the bolster, so like you're in a sort of supported shavasana, or if it's something your hips might like, because obviously we have been in this position for a long time with one hip but not with the other, but you could come into a butterfly, so reclining butterfly with the legs supported. But again, totally up to you. You might just want to neutralize the hips. And something about having the legs elevated, for me, creates this really lovely sense of heaviness into the bones of my pelvis. And I quite like how that feels, how that creates a sense of grounding and settling and just quietening all of the busyness that's going on. Okay, so then we're going to transition into the final pose of our sequence that's on the side body. So what you're going to need to think about is which leg you had bent to the side and which leg you had straight. So your straight leg is essentially going to stay where it is. I want you to be in this position that I'm in now, with your, what was your bent knee crossed over the top. So you're crossing your legs. Hopefully you can see that because my trousers aren't lending themselves to seeing that so well. So you've got your legs crossed with the bent knee going on the top. Then you are gently shuffling your upper body like you're doing banana pose over towards the straight leg side of your mat. And if you want, you could add the arms in by taking the arms around the top of the head and loosely holding onto the wrist with the bent knee side. So you're creating a little side stretch, a little banana shaped curve. And you can go deeper with this. You can walk the upper body more round to the side if you want. You could put some support underneath your hands or your elbows if necessary. You could even take this leg shape and just lightly shuffle that more to one side, more like a banana. So you're kind of looking for a sense of length down the outer hip, outer thigh, side of the waist, side ribs, shoulder region, armpit, and maybe along the upper arm. Just feel your way into this, shuffle around as necessary. Don't take it too far if you don't want to go too far. And then we just hang out here. Let the cooling influence of lying close to the ground rebalance your body after this really warm day. Take long, slow, lazy exhales. Just for these moments of your practice, it's like you've pulled the plug out of reality. You've disconnected all those other influences, those other demands that we often place upon ourselves. And for this little portion of time, we are prepared to be very present in our physical body, heightening our awareness, feeling whatever there is to feel as it emerges. From the little tickles, the itches, the complaints from within, to the emotions that might well begin to surface. Then you're going to take one, maybe two more breaths. And you're gently shuffling and releasing, coming back to a neutral position, perhaps with the legs supported. Maybe now you want to take the butterfly position for the legs, I don't know. Whatever feels right, offer it to yourself. Okay, so you're going to take 1 or 2 more breaths. And we're going to make our way up towards the seated position. So take your time. And then we're going to practice those poses on the other side. So, first one, half butterfly, one leg straight, the other knee bent and rolled out to the side. I didn't give you this as an option the first time, but remember that you can put something underneath the knee of the bent leg. Now you can keep using your supported bolster position, and it kind of gives you a place or a destination to stretch towards without squishing your tummy. Or you can keep the bolster closer towards you if you feel that you just need a little bit more support tonight. Sometimes it's quite nice having it tucked closer in or under the armpit, so to speak. Support the head if you need to. Sometimes I quite like stacking the fists one on top of the other and just offering that little bit of extra support. Remember that we should be doing a little bit less here. Not trying quite as hard. No effort to hold a pose, to appear strong or to create flexibility. That's not the purpose of a yin practice at all. Instead, we want to soften into allowing, undoing tensions and tightnesses in the body so that the nervous system can drop down and reduce its settings. When we feel at ease, when we have a sense of calm, it's actually then that the body does its best work of releasing and letting go some more. And in turn, we find that our ability to relax and even to find more depth in a pose just happens on its own without us even trying. Happens because we stop trying. Okay, so taking one more breath. And lovely, slowly coming upright. And you're just going to stay in an upright position for a moment. I'm going to shuffle round so that I don't have my back to you. And just this being upright gives your spine a little chance to neutralize itself, even though it's not as nice, not as nice perhaps as lying down completely, but then you have to do a lot of up and down and don't really want that. I want you to be making a little bit less effort. So remember, our next pose is returning more to the side. So we're kind of extending that leg out, and this leg doesn't matter where it goes or how it ends up. In fact, if you wanted to have it out straight because that becomes more comfortable, then that's also great. However, what we're doing now is side bending towards the straight leg. Okay, so the bolster can catch the elbow, or you could roll it in and let it catch the arm and hold on to the foot or reach towards the foot. Let me put my timer back on. Okay. Yeah, that looks lovely, Madeline. Do that. As long as you feel a stretch in the side of your body, because it's a side bend. Okay. Doesn't have to be a very big one. You have your head in your hands. And just leaning to one side. You're feeling this in the waist, and the side ribs. Remember those soft breaths. Those long exhales. Okay, so taking your last breath here. Well done. Slowly coming up, and just notice that you have to take your time. I don't want you to rush into coming onto the back of your body, but know that that's where we're going next. So freeing the leg out from underneath your little structure. I'm going to move mine down a bit. And now it's coming to lay down with the legs up on it. So yeah, remove my water bottle. So yeah, just coming to rest here with the calves supported, knees supported. And just hang out and let the spine ease. And stay just for a few more breaths. Really sinking into the stillness and the quiet, creating a sense of calm. Okay, so we can do our little banana-y shaped kind of curve here with the legs supported. So your straight leg stays straight and the other leg, the bent knee, crosses over the top. Remember that you can also walk or shuffle the legs slightly to the side. Then your upper body walks over to the side to create the banana-y kind of curve. And so hopefully you're looking to feel the stretch somewhere down the side body. It might be all the way down the side body, or it might just be in shorter, smaller locations. If you want, arms around the top of the head and hold on to the wrist. So you're just creating even more opportunities to lengthen the outer line of your body. And I think this pose, this kind of reclining banana pose, most closely mimics the pose that we worked towards on Tuesday night. And if you weren't able to come Tuesday night, I really recommend catching up with that class because it's a really nice one, I think. So I'll get it up onto the shared area tomorrow. So there, maybe you can find some time over the weekend if you wanted to take it. Now remember that you shouldn't be trying too hard. There can be the temptation to add on all the different components that I've suggested. I think for me tonight, I need to back off a little bit. It's taken my head and my upper body just a little bit too far. And just to change, it just has to be maybe a centimetre, maybe more, maybe less. Just a little tiny adjustment sometimes is all that's needed. It just takes away that sense of trying, of efforting. You don't want to do any of that. You want to be able to feel a slight challenge happening to the body without it creating tension, stress, or strain. So you're trying to calm our nervous system down. I'd like you to stay for maybe 2 more breaths. And then shuffling yourself back towards neutral, unraveling the legs. And maybe you quite like to take the butterfly position, so both knees bent out to the sides, feet touching. If this doesn't feel right, sometimes just having the feet on the bolster and the knees bent, relaxing the arms, can be quite nice and restful, because again, you're putting the weight into the hips and the pelvis, which, I don't know, just I really like the feel of. But again, do what feels right. Don't ask too many big questions. Just feel your spine sinking into the mat. And the ease with which your breath comes and goes. Okay, so then bringing the knees towards one another, rolling over to one side, so that you can come round and up again to sit. And we're going to sit for the final pose. So the final pose is folding forwards, and maybe you've kept your 2 bricks and your bolster and you use it to offer it as a little prop to let yourself gently wrap around. And again, rest your head in your hands. Make it stronger if you want to, or keep it really soft, really easy, just back right away from too much pressure to be doing. And for those of you that have your head in your hands, make sure that your palms are on your forehead, on your frontal bone, and really let the full weight of your head press into the palms. Feel the heaviness of the head. And the reciprocal pressure of the hands pressing onto the frontal bone. And it might occur to you that you'd like to put your hands in slightly different positions, slightly different places on this same bone. Maybe you'd like to rest the heel of your hands on your eyebrows. Press the head falling into the hands holding the head. Maybe you'd like to move the hands a little bit towards the outer eyebrow, the outer edges of the frontal bone, and have a little bit of a squeeze inwardly. And then maybe just one hand in the center of the forehead, the other hand just cradling, keeping it steady. Have a sense that as you let the head rest into your hand, you want your hand to kind of move in a slightly upwards direction. It's not actually moving anywhere. So there's a sense that it's taking the skin of your forehead up, away from the natural pull of gravity, which is down. And then in your own time, release this shape and begin to lift your head. And we come back to lying. So just give yourself a moment to come upright. You might feel that you might feel a little bit lightheaded. You might feel a little bit like your spine is slow to change. But then we're coming back to lie, and perhaps you want to put your bolster back underneath the legs again. Or another option, if you like, this is very lovely, and I really I love this. I love having my legs elevated and lying down. I find it very, very restful for the spine. But another really nice, as you know, one of my favourites is to lie with the legs open. And so from here, what I like to do is just have the legs either side of the ends of the bolster. And so you're into this pentacle shape. You can open the arms if you want, also out wide. But this might be a little bit too stimulating for this time of the class. So I would suggest just keeping the hands down by your sides, even if you feel like, yeah, I want to keep my legs here because my hips feel like they need this opening stretch. But remember, this is your last pose of this particular practice. So choose wisely, choose appropriately. It might be that you want to come back to doing the wide legs or the full pentacle pose in another session. Maybe you get yourself onto your mat this weekend at some point and include that one. So for now, just choose your favorite rest. And let yourself relax softly into stillness. Feel your head getting heavier. Relaxing the neck, the throat and the jaw. Feeling the shoulders softening, the arms long and heavy. And so slowly bringing your awareness back into the space that you're in, but staying in Shavasana for a few moments longer. These lines are by Dana Folds, and they're called Breath of Life. I breathe in all that is. Awareness expanding to take everything in, as if my heart beats the world into being. From the unnamed vastness beneath the mind, I breathe my way into wholeness and healing. Inhalation, exhalation. Each breath a yes and a letting go, a journey and a coming home. Take one more breath as you are. And ease your attention back. Become aware of where you've left your toes and give them a wiggle. Roll your head from side to side. Run the pads of your thumbs across the tips of your fingers. Take a stretch out any way that feels good. Gather your knees in towards you. Gently roll to the side, and then you can make your way into a seat. Well done. Welcome back. All right, let's finish together. So we're going to end with the Yoni Mudra symbol today. So I'd like you to take your hands up, bend the elbows, bring the hands to touch above your head, thumb and index finger touching, hands coming down through the center line, and then just resting over the lower dantian, closing down the eyes, relaxing the shoulders, softening the jaw, breathing in, breathing out with ease, and connecting to your own energy and how you feel. And then bringing your palms together in front of your heart center. We finish the practice as we normally do with Namaste.